Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bomber Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfella Sports.
All right, man, we back. Goodfella Sports TV in the building. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Won't miss another video. And let's talk a little bit about Tyson Fury and Wilder, kind of breaking it down and what Fury said about Wilder and Ortiz too. I didn't rewatch the first fight. Still haven't. I had to get on my computer to watch it because it's not on YouTube. Acting like that was like a stone cold stunner classic type of fight, which it really wasn't until like the 12th round had some action. But Tyson Fury said that Wilder struggled with a 50-year-old man. But the problem is this, man. When you get to criticizing people, dude, you can't try to clean somebody else's yard up when your yard ain't clean. Like, Tyson Fury never called out Luis Ortiz. The whole country of the United Kingdom Ortiz had them shook. To the point Eddie Hearn signed Luis Ortiz to keep him away from AJ. People forget that. He signed Luis Ortiz to keep him away from AJ. Fury ain't never called out Ortiz. Last year, who did you fight? Otto Wallin? You technically lost to Otto Wallin. Because any other fighter with that cut, if that cut was in New York, he would have got stopped. His cut was worse than Nate Diaz is versus Jorge Masvidal. So any other, the New York Athletic Commission would have stopped that fight. All right, you struggled with Otto Wallin, and then you fought time before that. You fought Tom Shorts. Now, people say, "Oh, you biased towards Wilder." I told you guys, I felt that Tyson Fury won the first fight. Now, I'm not about to get into arguing with people about the count. If you know boxing, you know about the count. The count is subjective. Just like whoever stopped that, was it Kenny Bayless that was reffing this weekend? I can't remember. The Wilder fight. Where's Ortiz? That's how he handled a count. All right, Jack Reese handled a count another way. This is why it's important to know what state you fighting in. If that was Jack Reese again, he would have gave Ortiz a chance to get up and get smoked. All right, that's just the truth. You got to know your referees. That's why it's very, very important when you see a referee or a judge, when you have a fight in the state with the Athletic Commission, to know what type of style they got. And Deontay Wilder, he learned a valuable lesson. Next time, go right to the corner with Jack Reese. Matter of fact, petition not to have Jack Reese to ref the fight. That's it. Jack Reese and like Arthur McCanny, them dudes gonna give you every chance. I seen, wasn't it Arthur McCanny and Yuri Foreman versus Miguel Cotto throw the towel back in the ring. At the corner. The corner threw the towel because Yuri Foreman tore his ACL or something like that. And Yuri Foreman said, "Oh, I don't want to quit. I don't want to quit." And the towel came in, and McCanny threw the towel back at the corner. So you gotta know your audience. You gotta know your audience. You gotta know at least the commission you messing with. Lesson learned for Wilder, right? But I felt Fury won the first fight. But Fury can't pass judgment on people, dog. He can't. Now after the year he had, dog, you really lost to Otto Wallin. If you want to say, "Oh, I really beat Fury," you lost to Otto Wallin. They should have stopped that fight over that cut. They didn't because of Bob Arum. If you just had Queensberry Promotions and Frank Warren behind you, dude, that fight definitely would have been stopped. You know what I'm saying? But they fighting in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, February 22nd. Barring any setbacks from both fighters, and like I said, they got like Dillian, Ortiz 50. Like, nigga, you ran from Ortiz, bruh. You could have been fighting Wilder instead of getting popped versus Oscar Rivas. You could have been fighting Wilder this year. And you would never got popped if you fought Wilder because the UCAD popped you. Wilder didn't. That just shows you the inconsistencies with Wilder. You would have been fighting Wilder this year. My AB boy, I'm guiding them. You would have been fighting Wilder this year. You would have got smoked. You wouldn't even have made it that far. Let's keep it real. Ortiz would have smoked you. They want to sit here, the UK fans and they fighters, and Ortiz is 50 years old and he's an old man. Like, I don't see nobody lining up to catch that fade. Even after Wilder left him drooling in his lap, nobody lining up to catch that fade with Luis Ortiz. Okay? Everybody, he was outboxing Wilder. Just because Ortiz is technical, and it ain't another heavyweight southpaw technical like Luis Ortiz in this division. It ain't too many that's like Luis Ortiz. Not saying he the greatest, but ain't too many people in the heavyweight division fight Ortiz. Ortiz fight like a small fighter. He fight like a lot of the smaller Cuban fighters, but he just bigger and he got good power. But still, for good power, you still, unless you punching. Man, this mount just fucked us up. I got to take it back. I don't understand it, dog. Spend all this money on a mount and it sucked. But unless you punching, unless you truly punching like Wilder with his left hand, with Ortiz's left hand, then at the end of the day, I mean, you got to throw more than 1 or 2 punches at a time. You got to throw 3, 4, 5, 6 more consistently for Luis Ortiz. And that's the problem with him. He too selective with his punch output. He want to throw the land, but man, unless you got that Wilder one hitter quitter, I don't know if you can throw the land like that, man. And that's just my humble opinion on that. But it's showing you what type of cowards the UK is, man. The UK, Ortiz 50 years old, but y'all niggas didn't want to fight him though. Like, come on, don't pass judgment. Fury, you was looking for an opponent. You could have fought Luis Ortiz last year. He was gonna slate it against Wilder because the AJ situation. Ortiz, team dropped the ball on that, which he would probably be heavyweight champion right now. But you know what? Styles make fights. Ruiz threw a lot more punches than Luis Ortiz would, I believe, versus AJ. Okay, but make sure this mouth stay up this time. But at the same time, Fury and Wilder, man, Wilder had unveiled the left hook to the body versus Ortiz, and usually the right hand is better versus southpaw. And if I'm Fury, I'm thinking I might want to go southpaw. But the problem is, he had to really been doing that for a long time, or he got to be like supernaturally comfortable with being a southpaw. You know what I'm saying? And if he's supernaturally comfortable being a southpaw, then I think that's probably. But usually for southpaws, orthodox right hand is the problem. But for Wilder, his right hand, it could, for most of that fight, he couldn't get off because Ortiz is a natural counterpuncher. Now, Fury ain't as technical as Ortiz. He orthodox. He unorthodox with his plan. But what gives Wilder a lot of trouble is his ability to, be awkward, his foot movement, and when Wilder gets set, Ortiz, Fury can move off the spot, or his upper body movement really, really good. So Ortiz got to build on his performance versus Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? And how do you build on your performance versus Deontay Wilder? Then, obviously you got to do more. Obviously offensively, Ortiz needs to do more. Fury needs to do more, and that may boil down to, taking more chances, but then we take more chances, you get slept. Fury ain't the greatest offensive fighter, you know what I'm saying? It's just down for Wilder to close the distance on him, and when he does close the distance on him this time, don't headhunt. Fury looking for you to go up top. He was prepared for Wilder to go up top. What he need to do is Wilder need to go downstairs. He don't need to smother his work, which he did versus Fury a lot. He need to keep a good distance. He need to go to the body and rip an uppercut. You know what I'm saying? He need to really rip that body. That left hook that he was throwing, that's the hook he need to be throwing on the inside. Left hook, right hook, and just working the inside. And what you're doing is, even though it may not seem like murderous punches, what you're doing is you slowly leaking the tires out of Fury, which is his legs. And that's what we be working on camp. If I'm Mark Breland and Jay Diaz, we be working on getting that joker on the rope, jabbing to the stomach, to the solar plex. And I'll be working on just, working the middle, taking the air out the tires early on. I tell Wilder, if you got him on the ropes, don't even worry about going to the head, because eventually, he gonna get tired. And you see when Ortiz got tired, because that's what it boiled down to. it's gonna be sleep season, and that left hook gonna be key. You know, left hook for Wilder, that's gonna be real, real key in this fight. Not only to the body, to the head. You know, and that left hook almost killed Fury last time. They saying he only one-handed puncher. Wilder ain't no one-handed puncher. Wilder got a good jab, except for anybody versus Luis Ortiz. Ortiz was looking to counter everything that Wilder was doing, and Wilder knew that. But eventually, the jab and the pivot is what set up the knockout. Everybody just see the right hand landing on his jaw, but it was a jab. It was a jab, get him out of position, turn him, jab again, and then it was a jab, I believe it was the pivot, and a jab, right hand. You know what I'm saying? And Ortiz just physically got tired. You know what I'm saying? And it happens. It happens. You know, Wilder put so much physical and mental pressure on you, trying to stay away from the right hand. Then you feel that left hook. You know, it is. But in the rematch, I had to watch the next fight, but I really can't call it. I would favor Wilder right now. But like I said before, you seen Julian J. Rock Williams have three questionable fights leading up to the J. Rock fight. I'm not saying questionable, but Joshua Conley was a cool performance. Ishii Smith was shaky, and Gallimore, I seen him look better. All right, you seen Ortiz. You know, he looked good versus Kajanu. He looked not so good versus Travis Kaufman, and then not so good versus Christian Hammer. But then, you know, he came out and gave the performance of a lifetime versus Deontay Wilder. Well, for him, for his career. So, I mean, you can't really say go off based off old performances. And I would tell, and before I end this, if I'm Deontay Wilder corner, I'm gonna tell him, do not exclusively go for that cut. Don't try to open up that old cut right now. All right. If the opportunity there to open up the cut, okay, take it. And people can say, well, Otto Wallin gave Fury all this type of problems, and he gave Otto Wallin all this type of issues. Remember, Otto Wallin is Otto Wallin. He do some things that Wilder don't do in the ring so well. And Wilder do some things that Otto Wallin can't do in the ring. That's what y'all got to remember. Y'all can't say, oh, this bum did this. And on this level, all these dudes can do something very, very well. I went to a few, every now and again, I go to a few lower level fights. The biggest difference about lower level fights and club fighters is really the conditioning. You know what I'm saying? It's really not so much the technique. The conditioning is the biggest difference from a top 15 fighter and anybody below that. A 10 to 12 round fighter, man, conditioning is really the difference. Because a lot of these dudes been in the gym their whole life. So, you know, Otto Wallin ain't the bum of bums. You know what I'm saying? He can do some things in there. He showed a lot of grit and toughness. He fights nothing like Deontay Wilder. But I would tell Wilder, do not worry about that cut right now. Because Wilder get the head hunting and Fury get the slipping, and before you know it, you in the same predicament coming down the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th round stretch with Fury. You in the same predicament, in my humble opinion. I'm telling him, take his time, touch him to the body, you get him on the ropes, and then you worry about firing that big right hand off. But that's just my opinion on it, man. Let me know what you guys think about the rematch. I think Wilder. I think I favor Wilder slightly. Slightly, but it's not a fight I bet on. Like I said, certain fights last night we went live. There's certain fights that I'm going balls to the wall with. For real. You know, it's very seldom, but there's certain fights I bet on. But this ain't one of them. This is not one of them, man. But I appreciate it, man. I made it to my destination. Somebody got the nice Porsche at the barbershop. I think it's one of the ladies that own the shop next door. But hey, appreciate it. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business, question, card, response, video quotes. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation? That link, subscription, best way to donate, share the video. One time for the one time. Y'all know what the business is. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow.